Can I acknowledge my colleague Angus O'Snoddick for moving this legislation? And I think our debate has adequately reflected the really important place that Moore Street occupies in our story, the story of our country. And the years of neglect and abandonment by the state have not diminished its aura or indeed its legacy for our people, notwithstanding the reality of the dereliction, the grime, and as one deputy described it, its use sometimes as an outdoor lavatory. Notwithstanding that, it's a place at the very heart of our country's long struggle for independence, our struggle for a republic. It is hallowed ground. Its laneways are the laneways of history, and when you walk its streets, you walk in the footsteps of the brave men and women of the 1916 Rising, who carried that dream of an Ireland that could be free, equal and united, a nation that cherishes equality and justice for all, and that is no small thing. You see, these aren't just buildings. These aren't just laneways, they aren't just streets. This is where the Republic lived as the rebels of Easter week fought to break the connection between Ireland and British imperialism. It was in the Moore Street area that the very heart of that Republic beat. It then reverberated through the years that followed and across the world. Following 6 days of heroic resistance, the centre of our city of Dublin lay in ruins. 5 of the leaders of the provisional government met for the last time in 16 Moore Street and ordered the surrender. And what happened in the area surrounding Moore Street 105 years ago changed the course of our history forever. This includes the historic terrace of 10 to 25 Moore Street, as well as the GPO, the White House, the O'Brien's bottling store in Henry Place, and the lane streets and boundaries of Moore Street, Moore Lane, Henry Place and O'Rahilly Parade. What happened in these places, the stage upon which our city fought an empire, ensured that things would never be the same again, and as Yeats wrote, all changed and changed utterly. The 1916 Rising brought with it a wind of history that has left its mark on every square inch of the Moore Street area. And that is why the battlefield site was rightly recognised by the High Court in 2016 as a national monument. As has been said today, most countries have sites and buildings that are important to them in terms of their journeys to nationhood and to freedom, revered places that stand in testimony to a people risen in the name of their independence. And it's right that these places are honoured, and we simply should honour ours too. Moore Street should be and can be a landmark of modern Irish history, a citadel of the values so poetically expressed in the proclamation and in the democratic programme. Not only is the Moore Street area renowned for its place in our revolutionary history, but it is also teeming with culture and tradition. The Moore Street Market has been referred to today. It's Dublin's oldest food market. It predates the famine. It's a place where generations of people have come to witness and to soak up Dublin heritage at its most raw and in the most everyday of ways. No trip to our nation's capital is really complete without a walk amongst the stalls of Moore Street, or without encountering the wit, the banter, the charm of our traders. The authentic atmosphere, the unvarnished experience of the Moore Street Market is really, really special, and it's an experience that we must preserve, enhance and promote as part of our city's attractions. The laneways of Moore Street echo with our past, but they also chime loudly with the prospect of a really vibrant future. So Deputy O'Snoddick's bill to revitalise the 1916 Moore Street quarter is about building an exciting future for the area, an area that is steeped in our very proud history. And the truth is this, and I think we need to unite on this point: our heritage and our past is just too important to be handed over to the whims of a private developer who pave over our history, perhaps with the shopping centre. I believe that the Hammerson plan should be rejected openly and outright, and that the listing of the buildings on Moore Street should continue. I believe that the regeneration of the area can be advanced through the development of art and music and indeed sport, as well as establishing a permanent outdoor Moore Street market. I believe that such a creative and modern approach would boost tourism, it would boost footfall and jobs in a really effective way. And this bill introduced supports the approach envisaged by the Save Moore Street in 1916 relatives groups, who have fought long and hard for the state to take action to preserve and revitalise the area. Indeed, it should be noted the group's own impressive plan is one which would see much needed housing, retail and cultural experiences woven throughout this historic quarter. That, I believe, is the right plan for this area. That's the plan that should be adopted and driven by the state, because it has the potential to literally transform the city, the inner city, and to act as a catalyst for further regeneration and further enhancement. You see, for far too long, governments and ministers have delayed acting, and this needs to stop. At the beginning of our debate, the minister reflected that, in his view, we were in a better place. Well, yes and no. Yes, in as much as we now have an identifiable national monument, but no, insofar as we still face a reluctance, a hesitancy, a refusal to grasp what is a huge opportunity. And I want to challenge all of us, but those in government in particular, to be ambitious, to see the bigger picture, because Easter week in 1916 was a watershed time for Dublin, for Ireland, arguably for the world. The leaders of the Rising, who met for that last time at 16 Moore Street, knew the importance of seizing the moment. And with this bill, we now have the opportunity to create a vibrant 1916 historical quarter, a living museum in the very heart of our city. And this now is our moment, and I wish us to seize it. The 1916 Rising changed the course of Irish history. So it's not enough today, with all respect, for the government simply not to oppose this legislation and then to sit back in it and do nothing. We need active support now for this legislation. And I agree, we need to work in a united fashion, in a collegiate way. We need to sit down together to make this a reality. And, Ceann Comhairle, no time can be lost. We should adopt an all-of-Oireachtas approach, and we should bring this bill to life.